Hello, in this video we're going to learn how to simplify a fraction. Now remember, when we simplify a fraction, we're not changing the value of the fraction. We are simply writing an equivalent form of the fraction. I'll explain that a little later. Now in this example we're going to simplify a fairly simple fraction, which is going to be 4 over 8. Now what you want to do first is figure out which number can divide both 4 and 8. We will do that by finding the greatest common factor, or GCF. We do this by getting the prime factorization of both the denominator and the numerator. Let's take 4 first. Since 4 is a composite number, we can reduce 4 by multiplying it by 2 times 2. Since 2 is a prime number, we can stop there. It does not need to be factorized further. Now we're going to take 8. Since 8 is a composite number, we can reduce it by multiplying 2 times 4. And as you can see, 2 is a prime number, so we can stop factorizing that number there. 4 is a composite number, so we can further reduce it by multiplying 2 times 2. Now, since 2 is a prime number, we can stop there. Now what I like to do is I like to write my composite numbers off to the side. With a little line there separating it. And I like to write the prime factorization of the number next to it. So in other words, 2 times 2 is the prime factorization of 4. So I will write 2 times 2 here. The prime factorization of 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So I'll write that here. 2 times 2 times 2. What I'm going to do now is circle my pairs. What I mean by that is I have a 2 here and I have a 2 here. So I have one pair. I will circle them. Then I have a 2 here and I have a 2 here. So I will circle that pair. Do I have a pair for this 2? No. So I will not need that 2 for my next step. What I will do now is simply multiply my pairs. In other words, this pair, I will have 1, 2 only, and I will bring this pair and I will just multiply it by 1, 2. So in other words, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. This means 4 is my greatest common factor, my GCF. Okay, it's the greatest common factor of 4 and 8. What does that mean? That means I'm going to use 4 to divide the numerator and denominator of my original fraction. So I will now divide 4 by 4, and I will divide 8 by 4. That will give me 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. That will give me 1/2, and that is my simplified fraction. Okay, now remember in the beginning of the video I said we're just writing an equivalent fraction. We're not changing the value of the fraction. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get the original fraction we started off with. Let me go ahead and put a little line here to separate my work. I'm going to bring down the 4 8s, and I'm going to write it down here on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is write this fraction in decimal form. How do we do that? We use Tybo. Top in, bottom out. Top in, inside, bottom out, outside. Now can 8 go into 4? No, so we'll put a 0. Remember to put a decimal there, and remember to put a 0 inside. Can 8 go into 40? Sure it can. 8 times 5 is 40. So now we have 40 minus 40 is 0. Now what I want you to do is remember this value right here. Remember that value there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring down my simplified fraction, which is 1/2. And I will write it down here. I'm going to write 1/2 in decimal form. How do I do that? I use table again. Top in, bottom out. Top in, bottom out. Can 2 go into 1? No, it can't. So we'll put a 0 there. Don't forget your decimal and to add another 0 inside. Can 2 go into 10? Sure it can. 2 times 5 is 10. So then we're going to subtract 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. Now I want you to notice this value. Look at this. This value here, 0.5, equals this value, 0.5. Now I did this so you can notice that we did not change the value of the fraction. The value of the fraction stays the same. All we did was change the way the fraction looked. We simplified it.